Imagine a scorching desert, a dirt road, 400,000 inhabitants, no Burj Khalifa or any other skyscraper, not even palm-shaped islands, just sand, and a completely crazy idea. Turn this small emirate into a crossroads of the whole world. At that time, no one was looking at Dubai, and certainly not the giants of aviation. For them, it's just a hot spot on a map, a place to pass through. But for a few visionaries, it's an opportunity, the chance to turn a desert into a global airport. Yet several gigantic obstacles stand in the way right from the start. Dubai doesn't have a domestic market, nor even a diaspora around the world. And even worse, no aviation industry at all. Despite these obstacles, Emirates takes off. In only 5 months, it has served over 260,000 passengers. 40 years later, we've grown to 53 million a year, 238 times more, becoming one of the world's biggest airlines. In 2025, the group posts a record revenue of $39.6 billion and a pre-tax profit of $6.2 billion. Enough to finish in the top 3 of the best airlines in the world. But then, how is that possible? The truth is, everything could have failed right from the start, because behind the official story, there is a secret decision that was made in the 2000s. A decision so risky that it could have completely destroyed the company. Hi, Entrepreneur Mindset team. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're diving into the story of Emirates, the airline that was never supposed to succeed and yet redefine the way the world crosses continents. It's a story of incredible risk-taking, vision, but also challenges and controversies. Stay with us until the end to discover the business lessons to take away from this meteoric rise. If you enjoy the video, don't hesitate to smash the like button. And now get comfortable in your seat, fasten your seatbelt, and get ready for takeoff as we journey through the rise of Emirates, which begins now. The airline golfer, which dominates the entire region, categorically refuses to invest further in Dubai. It belongs to 4 countries: Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, which was by far the richest and most powerful emirate in the Federation of the United Arab Emirates. Each owner wants the hub, the profitable routes, and the investments to go to him. Dubai, the nearby emirate, just requests extra flights and some long-haul routes. Golfer responds. They not only refuse, but also announce that from October 1985, they'll reduce their frequency to Dubai. For the leaders of the emirate at the time, this is unacceptable. If nothing is done, Dubai will lose almost all its international connections within a few months. If that happens, trade collapses, the emerging tourism dies before it even starts, and the city's image is buried. They then make a radical decision: stop begging and create our own. And it absolutely has to take off before October 1985, the day when golfer will cut off the funding. The deadline is 7 months at most, and the immediately available budget is $10 million. In other words, to create an international airline from scratch, faster and with less money than anyone in the history of aviation. Only one man is crazy enough to take this mission. Maurice Flanagan, former British Airways, arrives in Dubai with only one instruction: make us fly. Within weeks, he rents 2 planes, an A380 from Pakistan International Airlines and a 737. He recruits crews from all over the world, secures traffic rights by force, and builds a team from scratch. On October 25, 1985, the exact day golfer is reducing its flights, an Airbus A380 in the brand new Emirates livery takes off for Karachi, its first commercial flight, a plane that doesn't even belong to them. Zero prestige, but Dubai has just taken control of its own skies. From the start, the rule is clear: lease, don't buy, stay lean, and move quickly. But Emirates isn't getting any help. Dubai doesn't have an aviation industry, and the airport infrastructure is limited. The Gulf airlines at the time were far from the success we know them for today. And above all, as I was saying, the budget is $10 million. To give you an idea, $10 million isn't even the price of an Airbus A380 engine today. So how did they succeed with so little? Instead of buying, they rent everything: the planes, the extra crews, and even some ground services. This strategy allows them to reduce startup costs while remaining extremely flexible. They will then hire pilots and staff globally, build a young and dynamic identity that is the complete opposite of traditional airlines, and they will invest heavily in staff training. In just 2 years, Emirates already serves 11 destinations in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Word of mouth is starting to have an effect. A new, efficient, reliable airline, and surprisingly luxurious for a fairly reasonable price. The planes are full. The principle is clear. If Dubai lacks its own passengers, the entire world becomes its local market. But to achieve this, attracting passengers is not enough. In the late 1980s, Emirates realized something. 3 regions dominate air routes: Europe, North America, and Asia. And Dubai is located exactly in the middle. Geography then becomes a strategic weapon. It's a unique advantage on Earth. Between Europe and Asia, or Africa and Asia, Dubai is the perfect stop. The leaders understand that they can attract travelers not to Dubai, but through Dubai. In the 1990s, Emirates then developed a bold strategy to become a global long-haul gateway. While other airlines focus on domestic flights, Emirates invests in ultra-long-haul flights of 10, 12, or 15 hours. The growth of Emirates quickly becomes spectacular. The airline will show an average growth of nearly 20% per year, a pace that very few global players can keep up with throughout the 90s. Its network will also expand at an incredible speed, going from only 11 destinations to more than 50, now covering Europe, Asia, Africa, and soon Oceania. Meanwhile, Emirates will update its fleet by gradually adding more efficient aircraft. The Airbus A310, the A300-600, and then the legendary Boeing 777, which will become the pillars of its long-haul expansion. And above all, Dubai is investing massively in its airport. You may have already passed through it, Dubai International Airport. If not, we'll discuss it later in detail. Emirates has become more than an airline. It's a global bridge. Yet one plane will change its fate. Airbus unveils the A380, the largest commercial aircraft in history. Everyone will call it industrial suicide. Too big, too expensive, too heavy. Emirates, in contrast, views it as the key to becoming the top international hub. We need to transport more and more passengers without having more landing slots. The A380 seating, 550 to 615, is the ideal weapon. November 2001, 2 months after September 11, the sky's empty. Airlines are laying off staff, canceling orders, and some face bankruptcy. It is exactly at that moment that Emirates does what no one else dares. It signs for 15 A380s, the most expensive and ambitious aircraft ever created. If you want a video on Airbus history, let me know in the comments. For the industry, it's pure madness. But Emirates is betting that in the long term, people will come back, and they'll come back in large numbers. A giant plane reduces the number of flights needed, offers ultra-low per seat costs, and provides a unique experience unmatched for over a decade. It will double, triple, even quadruple the stakes. 123 A380s have been ordered. In total, almost half of all the A380s ever produced. No other airline has taken such a big risk on one aircraft, plus 40% more capacity in 5 years. Ultimate luxury, skybar, shower at 10,000 meters private suite. The A380 becomes Emirates' signature. Its flag in the sky, the symbol that this airline born in the desert can defy the laws of aviation. This gamble could have ruined it, but instead made it a success. But a big problem is going to arise. How do you keep these extraordinary giants flying 24 hours a day? To operate, Emirates needs to keep a perfect machine running, and that machine is Dubai International Airport. Dubai International Airport is a monster calibrated to the millimeter. Every year, more than 86 million passengers pass through these terminals, a number that has propelled Dubai to the rank of the world's top airport for international traffic. And the reality is even more impressive when you put it into perspective. No country on Earth has an airport of such scale, completely disproportionate to the size of its population. Dubai is a city of a few million inhabitants that handles the international traffic of an entire continent. Every day, dozens of long-haul planes arrive at the same time. 3 hours later, they leave in another direction. Everything is designed to minimize connection times. Dubai International Airport becomes a clockwork operation. The slightest delay would jeopardize the smooth flow of the network. So Emirates creates an invisible army of mechanics, Station managers, ground crews, all synchronized like a choreography. By the way, if you've been through Dubai, feel free to share your experience in the comments for information. That could be an idea for another video. Dubai is going to do the unthinkable. Destroy Dubai International Airport, the jewel I just told you about, to build one twice as big, Al Maktoum, in a few years. At Emirates, customer experience isn't just a service, it's an obsession. Every year, the company invests more than $2 billion to improve onboard comfort, modernize the cabins, and perfect every detail of the journey. To ensure quality, Emirates uses one of the world's youngest fleets, averaging about 6 years old. While many airlines still fly with planes that are over 15 years old, Emirates doesn't just sell a plane ticket, it sells a moment of luxury, when the journey becomes an experience. But just when everything seemed perfect, a global event would come and break the system. In 2020, COVID halted the world. Emirates, at its peak, with a turnover rivaling the European giants, saw global traffic collapse by 66%. The shock is brutal. $5 billion in losses, 38,000 employees laid off. The worst part, the A380 fleet, a symbol of its greatness, is grounded. The most expensive and largest plane costs a fortune just to be parked. The famous risky decision then looks like a fatal mistake. To prevent collapse, Dubai injects $2 billion. Remarkably, the world recovers as soon as 2022. The A380 makes a strong comeback 2 years later in 2024. Emirates posts record profits of $5.1 billion and a historic revenue of $39.6 billion. The plane that was supposed to kill it has become its advantage again by perfectly absorbing the explosion in long-haul demand after COVID. But of course, this meteoric rise created powerful enemies in the mid-2010s. The historic Western giants, Delta, Lufthansa, and Air France, launched a brutal offensive. By accusing Emirates of financial doping, they claim that Dubai injected more than $40 billion in hidden subsidies to kill the competition. Emirates strikes back by hitting where it hurts. If we win, it's because your services are mediocre and our planes are modern. It's a major showdown that proves one thing. Emirates is no longer the underdog, but the target to beat. A new danger is looming. Saudi Arabia is launching Riyadh Air, a multi-billion-dollar airline aiming to replicate the Dubai model. Emirates, like any champion, faces Western attacks, criticism of its methods, and imitation by neighbors. The A380 didn't kill Emirates. It proved that the wildest bets shape empires, even if it is gradually being replaced by new, more efficient wide-body aircraft like the Boeing 777X and the Airbus A350. It changed the history of aviation, and certainly that of Emirates, which mainly teaches us a radical method, a way to build an empire from almost nothing. So, before we wrap up this journey, here are 2 business lessons we can learn from this unlikely rise that you can apply at your own level right now. The first lesson is that when your market is too small, create one. Emirates lacked a local market, natural demand, and a solid foundation. Instead of limiting itself, it invented one that didn't exist yet, a global connecting point to unite entire continents. If nothing around you is enough, don't wait. Create something bigger. Second lesson, risk is an amplifier, not an enemy. The A380 was a massive gamble. It could have destroyed the company, and for a while it almost did. But it was precisely this excessive boldness that propelled Emirates into another dimension, that of industrial legends. Cautious bets create companies, crazy bets create empires. In short, Emirates reminds us that a bold vision can turn a weakness into an empire. And on the other hand, not taking risks and resting on your laurels also changes the trajectory of a company like Peugeot Société Anonyme, the historic French industrial group, which collapsed following strategic mistakes. As seen in the video, this was avoidable.